Tonight, let's pull back the curtain of time and take a slow, sleepy journey into the world before the bedframe. Before spring mattresses, before cozy pillows and quilted sheets, there was just the ground and a body looking for rest. You see, the story of how humans sleep is the story of how we survived. And long before bedrooms became our sanctuaries, sleep was something raw, uncertain, sometimes even dangerous. Let's travel far back to the time of our ancestors, not in castles or cottages, but in caves. Caves were the first bedrooms, and the bed, just the patch of dirt, maybe a pile of leaves, even dangerous. Let's travel far back to the time of our ancestors, not in castles or cottages, but in caves. Caves were the first bedrooms, and the bed, just the patch of dirt, maybe a pile of leaves. Imagine it. You're curled up near the fire, the warmth flickering over your skin. Outside, wild animals howl. But inside, your tribe breathes beside you. You sleep in a circle, together. Because back then, sleeping alone meant not waking up. There were no blankets, no bed sheets, no dreams of thread counts or mattresses. There was fur, leaves, moss, sometimes straw, just whatever the earth would give. And sleep came not with comfort, but with exhaustion. As time moved forward, we left the caves and built huts. And even then, beds were still humble. In ancient Egypt, only the wealthy had raised beds. They looked like benches, sometimes carved from wood, sometimes adorned with gold. The poor, they slept on the ground, on woven mats, sometimes just a sack of straw. Let's pause for a second and imagine one of those nights. You're an Egyptian farmer. The Nile is quiet outside. You lie down on your straw mat. Your skin is sunburnt. Your body aches. But there's peace because your children are asleep beside you. And sleep, though rough, still brings dreams. Now let's float forward to medieval Europe, where castles were cold and windows were covered in cloth. Beds became more elaborate. 4 posts, curtains, but not for romance, for warmth, to trap the body heat inside. They weren't sleeping alone either. It was normal for entire families to share a bed. Mother, father, children, even visiting travelers. And that's where the phrase "sleep tight" was born. because beds were held up with ropes. And if the ropes sagged, you'd fall straight through. So every night, they'd tighten the ropes beneath the mattress. Sleep tight wasn't a wish, it was a reminder. Further east, in Japan, sleep looked different. There were no tall beds, no springy mattresses, just a thin futon on tatami mats. And shoes stayed outside because sleep wasn't separate from the day. It was simply a softer moment within it. Back in colder climates, people got creative. In the Scottish Highlands, they built what were called box beds, enclosed wooden sleeping chambers, little rooms within rooms, tiny wooden doors that closed around the sleeper to keep in the heat and the dreams. It was like sleeping in a cabinet, safe, enclosed, warm. And did you know peasants in some parts of Europe slept sitting up? They feared that lying flat was too close to death, so they'd prop themselves upright in bed, blankets wrapped around their knees. It wasn't always peaceful. It wasn't always safe, but it was always needed. Sleep was the great equalizer, whether you were king or peasant, farmer or fisherman. Your body would still surrender to that quiet pull, that whisper of rest. And slowly, century by century, we got more and more comfortable. Straw became wool, wool became cotton, and someone thought to stuff feathers into a sack. The first pillow. Then came iron beds, then box springs, then memory foam, then bunk beds, and orthopedic mattresses, and sleep apps, and blackout curtains, and sound machines. But still, even now, with all our comforts, some part of us longs for that ancient quiet. A fire, a forest, the stars overhead, and the sound of others breathing nearby. So tonight, as you drift off into your own soft bed, remember this. You are part of a long, unbroken chain of sleepers. From cave floors to woven mats to the place where you lay your head now. And whether the mattress is made of straw or springs or memory foam, it doesn't matter. Sleep is still holy, still ancient, still ours. Good night, fellow traveler of time.